Thank you, everybody, for joining us. My name is Melanie Aguirre, and I am with the Quantum Disclosure Project. I created this nonprofit to bring forward community, ancient teachings, and wisdom, and on a new platform for the next generations to come so that we can preserve who we are, what we are, why we're here, and why we are fulfilling our missions to go across these sacred sites, create these amazing webinars and events. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who has contributed, who has been of support to this nonprofit and educational process. And as we go, I just want to say thank you. And I want to talk today about the Chaco Canyon second annual Sacred Site Tour, which I'm very excited about. And today we have a great list of speakers. We have Brad Olsen, Kevin Estrella, Laura Eisenhower, Sean Bond, and Yssah. We will also be speaking with the Chinos a little bit later on, but today we have this amazing roundtable. We'll be sharing what we're presenting, what we're hosting, what should you expect, and a little bit about the speakers and their presentations. And so first, I just want to introduce Yssah. She is a holofractal EDOS orchestrator, a template of unity consciousness. She brings and bridges ancient wisdom, galactic memory, holofractal science, quantum physics, and the biophysics into the unified field where science and spirituality coverage as one cosmic intelligence. And so before we get too far, let's introduce Yssah and we can learn a little bit more about from her. How are you doing today, Yssah?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Melanie, for that introduction, and thank you for having us. Even more so, thank you for creating this amazing event. As Brad has been saying in a few times, there is like no sacred tour like this. Like you go to the site and then you share and you do the discussions and presentations and so forth. So I couldn't be more excited about experiencing something like this, alongside with all these beautiful beings that I love very much. And some of them I'm getting to know them. I'm pretty sure that we will be sharing beautiful moments. So, having said this, just to break down the beautiful introduction that you said about me is being a light architect, being a plasma architect. So, very much of what I will be sharing in Chaco Canyon and what I'm currently sharing is unified science and spirituality. Because one of the things that I have remembered the most is that everything is a unified field. And when we tap into that tapestry, then everything becomes way easier. You understand, you comprehend, you remember, what truly are these ancient sites as a reflection of our own biotechnology. And that in order to activate them if needed, first we need to activate our own interdimensional body. And that's where it gets very, very interesting because, for instance, in the case of Chaco Canyon, you have all these kivas, these circular niches, like nests. And, they said that there were portals. And indeed they were. If you go through, speaking of science, if you go through topology, which is mainly a branch of mathematics that explains how you can deconstruct anything, cut it, paste it, and edit it, and so forth, and how the information will no longer be linear. It will be the same information yet non-linear. So this whole construction of the Chaco Canyon is represented through, it's known as the genus, in topology, which is mainly a bunch of vortexes that you can bring in information from wherever in high coherence. So now the very, well, something that I'm very passionate about is that all of these kivas are aligned along with this very long corridor to the stars, to very specific, to the Milky Way, to very specific star systems, to the sun, to the moon. And that arcastronomical configuration represents that whatever they were bringing from within those portals opens through very specific dates and also is connecting to those star systems. Now, there is also a huge connection to the ant people. Chaco Canyon is connected to Sedona, is connected to the Grand Canyon, is connected to also Egypt, a very specific part in Aswan and another one in Sinai, because we have all these ant beings present. I was actually talking to an elder that has been, Martha Miller, that has been holding the shrines of many ant doors throughout United States, and that it's doing an amazing job. And there is one, she was mentioning that there is one kiva that actually, the first one, that it's buried. But once that kiva reemerges, then the ant door will be reopening. So beyond that, another thing, just to summarize now and allow the rest of the rest of us to talk, there is another very interesting thing that apparently they have been bringing some of the arcs of the covenant to very specific reservations in the United States. And that makes you wonder why. And also, if one of them is in Chaco Canyon, and if so, what for? Well, big part is that that technology that we see in the surface is just showing the top of the iceberg of what is underneath. So all those technologies are very much connecting to what the ant beings want us to restore on Earth, to restore the nexus of stargates that will enable very specific primordial codes that they once shared with the elders, with all these Native American tribes, come back online, and for us to thrive for the next stages of human evolution. Besides the traits that come when you activate your biology, and then you see how it's mirroring and having the feedback from, in this case, this amazing ancient center that was so important as a power source, bringing codes and weaving, restoring as a spider, this tapestry, restoring the fabric of space time after the fissure that took place in the Younger Dryas.
Absolutely. And as you were speaking, I just kept seeing this grid, like this, like a piece of paper, how you're saying that how everything is connected, and yet when it comes together, it's not on the same plane, it's not linear. And so I just got this vision of an origami being shaped. And so how do you feel when we meet at Chaco Canyon? What do you think is going to be activated or restored or awakened for us or for those who are going to be making it?
Well, for me, first of all, and following the ancient teachings is what do we have to offer? Because normally we're like, okay, what are we going to receive once we go there? For me, it's now more, what are we going to offer? What codes are we bringing with us? So for me, each one holds specific codes. We agreed this meeting before coming here to Earth. And now, once we have agreed, well, once we are actually meeting physically, then the codes that each one holds will be activating very specific technologies because within each one of us, there is, and to some extent, a different connection with the ant beings and other inner Earth and galactics. So it's like, hey, this is my source code. I planted and may it continue to reestablish that cosmic nexus. So, because we know that everything is progressive, so we will definitely be achieving something huge regarding to the restoration that because we're in critical years, from now all the way to 2030, there are very specific technologies that need to be reactivated onto some extent, and I'm not saying that we will see, like the whole Kibas as huge portals. Perhaps we will. But the thing is that through us, they will be active. And then wherever we go, we will be imprinting and planting those seeds.
Yes, beautifully said. I love that. That's wonderful. Thank you. And then I would now like to introduce our next speaker, Brad Olsen. He is a captivating speaker and author of 11 books, including 4 books in his esoteric series and his newly released Secrets of Antarctica. Brad is an award-winning author, book publisher, and acclaimed conference speaker. And he is been on Gaia and Ancient Aliens and I believe History Channel. So let's bring in Brad. How are you doing today, Brad?
Hey, Melanie, I'm doing great. Nice to see all you guys out there. We're going to have a wonderful trip next month to Chaco Canyon and the surrounding area, which is an absolutely magical landscape. For your listeners who haven't been there yet, it is a very charged area. As Yasha just said, there's something about it that the ancient Puebloan people, we don't call them the A word anymore. Clifford Mahooty said, don't call them Anasazi. That's like the N word. So we call them ancestral Puebloan people, is who once occupied Chaco Canyon. And if you remember about 25, 30 years ago, the Wingmaker's Cave was discovered. There was a website right in the dawn of the internet that was about these discs that were found in a cave some years before that. But the website and the interpretation of these discs, which were kind of like records that they were able to play, was discovered near Chaco Canyon. So it appears that this was a sacred landscape that goes all the way back to prehistoric time, possibly even older than the Hopi and the Zuni, who are the ancestral Puebloans who occupied the area. And we're going to be going to Chaco Canyon, of course, which was like the Washington, D.C. of the ancestral Puebloans. And we'll also be going to Aztec, which is one of the great houses in the network of the Chacoan outlier communities. And those are equally as important because it's kind of like how New York City or Baltimore or Philadelphia would be the outlier cities of Washington, D.C. These other locations like Aztec and Salmon and a few others you can visit were once connected by this network of roads that were arrow straight that would just cross the landscape. There's even one location where the roads go up and over a mesa rather than just go around it. It's like, no, we go straight here. And so maybe we'll catch some remnants of the Great Road. As remember, last year we saw the staircase that was leading up out of Chaco Canyon, and I'll lead a tour when we're there too, and point that out to everybody who's going to come. So, like Yasha said, this is just such a cool opportunity to do a conference with authors and grid workers and people who know this lay of the land to get together and travel out on day trips to go to Aztec and also to Chaco Canyon and really get a feel for the landscape because it is very powerfully charged. And can't wait to get back there with you guys. It's going to be another great trip.
Yes, we had such a great time last year with Brad. We did a tour of the area, and thank you for showing us the staircase. There are active areas in Chaco Canyon where people can go hiking. So we'll be spending the day of the 23rd. That is the day of the equinox. We'll be spending that entire day at Chaco Canyon. So we will have speaking, lectures, presentations within the ruin walls of Pueblo Bonito. And if anyone wants to go hiking, please do. And so, Brad, is Chaco Canyon one of your favorite places to visit?
Yeah, it really is. When I was working on the book Sacred Places North America, I went to Chaco Canyon for the first time about 20 years ago. And I was getting in there kind of late at night, and I was camping in the campground where we were last year. And I just had the most vivid and wild dreams. I really felt like the ancestors or a shaman had come to me in my dream because the very next day I was walking the site for the first time all by myself. And it felt like I was being guided, that I had a spiritual teacher on my shoulder saying, "Oh, check this out. Oh, go that way. Look down in the kiva here, and there's another big one across the way there." So it's that kind of place. It really is magically gifted, the lay of the land, kind of like the canyon behind you, Melanie. It's these high cliff walls, and in the middle is what was one of the largest settlements in North America before Columbus and the white people got here. So a lot of historical context as well with this site that I think everybody's going to really feel a very strong pull to consider this as one of the best sacred places in North America.
Absolutely. And right before Yssah has to exit, I just want to tell her thank you. Thank you, Yssah, for joining us. I know you have to leave.
Thank you for having me. And I wish I could stay until everyone talks because this is going to get really interesting. Yet I will have time to see you physically there and share even more adventures. So that will be even more interesting. So thank you so much. Enjoy. Love you and see you soon.
See you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Melanie. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you. All right, thank you, Brad, for sharing that. And you're right, it's the area is very infused with natural beauty and ancient history and pictographs. So if anyone has not been there, definitely bring a camera, good walking shoes, sunscreen, a chair if you need to. There's bathrooms, there's a gift shop, and the park is open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. That's mountain time. So anyone can join us, and it's a public event. All right. So I would like to introduce our next speaker, Laura Eisenhower. She is a researcher, author, and astrologer. She is an internationally acclaimed speaker who has presented her work worldwide. Laura is a great granddaughter of President Dwight David Eisenhower, and she reveals exopolitical information, and she has just made a big difference in my life. And I just want to say I'm very honored to have her here with us, and she was with us last year. So she's also a leading author, and I just cannot wait to for her to share more. So thank you, Laura. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's great to be here with all of you. I'm so excited to go back to Chaco Canyon. And thank you, Melanie. You've made such a huge difference in my life as well. I'm so glad that you're putting this on. And just, man, all the work you do is immense. And it's going to be so wonderful to be with you guys, everybody else who's going to be a speaker, and those that are going to join us. So excited to walk this land with you. Man, it's such an incredibly powerful spot. And what I love is just wandering around and coming across the incredible like petroglyphs. And that's one of the special things is just those little surprises that, jump out. There's spirals, there's hands and feet, there's human figures, there's flute players, Coco Pele kind of figures, right? Animals and birds. And some footprint images even show. It's just really amazing too, just the animals that you see that aren't in the petroglyphs, that are just the wildlife. The way the ruins and that whole, Chaco civilization is, mapped out is, incredibly powerful. The structures, the roads, the ceremonial spaces. And so doing, talks in this location is super powerful. I remember last year there was a massive wind that came in, and And I just love being adaptable to the elements. And that's what we did. We just went right into, Chaco and continued, doing the presentations and saw such a gorgeous sunset. And it's just my favorite part of the world, really. I used to travel a lot to the Four Corner region. And so Chaco is a place I went to before. So yeah, this is the second year doing this with you guys. And the astrology is going to be pretty incredible while we're there. And I can share a little bit about that. The sun will have just entered Libra. So we're at an equinox gateway. And the equinox is the balance of light and dark and recalibration, connected with harmony, alignment, and polarity integration. And it's really when I feel the cosmic and natural law of the land and what's held within our true DNA and the divine template that the planetary grid network holds as its original architecture. It's such a powerful time to be here, for that. This overlay and reversal grid network just really is breaking down big time right now on the planet. And anyway, so coming together during the time of Libra is very powerful. The moon's going to be in Aquarius, I believe, on the 23rd, and Pluto's in Aquarius. So that's all about the transformation of collective consciousness and the awakening of larger networks and ancient and future knowledge. And understanding that we're the most advanced technology. Pluto's helping to burn through the fences and seals that have kept us from our full multidimensional self. And to be on such a significant line of energy and the ley lines, and what Yssah was saying about all the connecting points to Sedona and Egypt and just the whole planetary grid network as a sacred site is very, very activating. Uranus is in Gemini, and that's really awakening information, bringing in corrections. It's the connection between Mercury and our higher mind. So there's so much correction and adjustment going on in people's throat chakras to really speak truth. It's very, very hard to continue with any kind of distortion. And so I just feel this amplifies all of that. It really grounds and anchors that in. And to be in such a powerful location, it sort of supercharges the human vessels that we are in to release whatever doesn't serve us to a very powerful capacity. And then Neptune and Aries really embodying the creative imagination, the divine human. Jupiter is going to be in Leo. And so I just feel the playfulness and the expansion of the creativity, really holding intent, being prayer and action, and sharing that with each other, going on hikes and just exploration. The exploration of it all is just so much fun. Mercury will also be in Libra. Venus will be in Scorpio. And that's very, very deeply transformational for the heart. So to me, the overall message is the communication between earth and sky and stars and human consciousness, how our DNA connects with the planetary grid network and the zodiac. And I'd say, Chaco really activates deep memory and intuition and sensitivity to the land, the ancestral connection and awareness of ourselves as a part of the larger earth and cosmic network, and understanding the history there and experiencing, so many different speakers and the diversity of information that is brought forward, the wisdom, the knowledge, just the energy of all participants. This is the unified field to come together and harmonize the diversities and connect on the common thread of mutual love and respect for the land, for each other, and for this experience. So I'm really looking forward to it. And there's so much more I can share. As far as what I'll be speaking about, I'll be going deep into that. I will be talking about, the extraterrestrial and how that relates to ancient cultures. Also, the possibility that sites like Chaco were not simply built on the land, but in communication with the land, with the heavens, and perhaps with these higher intelligences, and what indication there is of that. The ant people were mentioned, so I will share some more in my presentation about that. But, what is going on currently astrologically? and the significance of being, here together, and some of the history. And I can also look at the astrocartography for individuals, where, the ley lines of Chaco interface with your own zodiac imprint, to really make this, more amplified in yourself. So you can see the relationship between you and the elementals, and whatever, planet or sign might be strong for you there, what it might be activating, because it connects with our organs, right? So a particular sign might activate something strong in something in your physical body, which would allow for a lot of clearing and activation, and how our own physiology and human nervous system and everything about our human vessel is a replica of the greater planetary grid network. So it'll be like awesome to really tune into what kind of changes and activations are happening within the individual. So I'll probably make it a little bit interactive in that way. So thank you so much for having me, Melanie. I'm so excited to be a part of this, and I look forward to meeting whoever's going to join us. And it's always amazing to be in Chaco.
That's amazing. Everything that you're going to bring and offer and share, I think is going to really help everyone who's looking for transformation on this experience, this getaway, this retreat, this reunion. And so there's a lot that people can return home to themselves when they visit Chaco Canyon and meet with Laura to get those astrology alignments in tune with whatever they're going through. I know that for everyone it can be a little different. And thank you for mentioning the playfulness and the fun and the communication, because we're going to be staying at Aztec, New Mexico at Tico time. And there's going to be over 90 acres of fun and joy and laughter and river time. There's 3 ponds, there's zip lines, there's disc golf. You can do water tubing, there's camping, RV spots, and tiny cabins, glamping tents, and the list goes on. And so if anyone wants to come out, there's plenty of space, and reservations through Tico Time are directly through Tico Time, but the reservations with this event are still through us. And so thank you, Laura, for sharing that. That sounds like a great time, and I know I'm very, very, very excited about it. And so let's introduce the next speaker, Kevin Estrella. He is a guitarist and composer of Pyramids on Mars. And he also is, sorry, I got stuck. I'm trying to condense a really long thing into a short thing. Kevin's calling was affirmed in 2014 when he had contact with interdimensional craft and unearthly origins, which is the Ponte. And since then, Kevin began experiencing many other incidents with in-person synchronicities, music downloads, symbol downloads through dreams. And he has also increased his telepathy and psychic abilities through his learning with the Ponte as an ambassador, an educator, and teacher. And so let's introduce Kevin. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Melanie. Glad to be here.
So happy you are here. Thank you for joining us again this year. This will be your second year with us at Chaco Canyon. Thank you for coming back.
Yeah, I can't wait. I mean, last year was a real spiritual experience. Just like the ruins itself, the petroglyphs, but it was the energy of all of us together. And it was like each of the speakers had a special, unique piece that offered something of special and value. And when you put it all together, the entire experience was just something that you can't really put into words. For me, I was just enthralled listening to Brad Olsen with his knowledge of the history of the place, and he went into great detail. I mean, it was so funny when the storm came in after Laura's presentation, and the winds blew in, and then we were stuck there for almost 2 hours, and then we end up retreating to Pueblo Bonito, to the city itself. to finish the presentations. And then within these walls was nice quiet. You could just slightly hear the wind outside. And then Brad did his presentation explaining about how Pueblo Bonito was like the Washington, D.C. of the ancient world, and that you can see from space roads going hundreds of miles north and south and west that all come to this area. It was an extremely important area for the ancient world. I mean, the Aztecs and Mayans would trek by foot up to Pueblo Bonito, and they traded parrots and seeds and all kinds of things. Pueblo Bonito was kind of considered like a university of what do you call it, astrology, and though everything is lined up and things line up with the equinoxes. It's and Brad will be able to explain a lot more of it as well. I mean, the whole experience with Pueblo with Chaco Canyon is it was beyond words. But there was also this presence. There was an ancient presence there that you could feel. The place is still, even though it's in ruins, it's still alive. It really is. I believe it's alive in different dimensions. And it was Tyler, our friend Tyler, who with Lily last year, and he was explaining about how one of his friends ended up having an injury, and he found himself in one of the kivas, and he's being taken care of by an old lady. And then somehow he was transported in time because there was a roof still overhead and everything was still together like if it was like 1700 years ago. And so there's still a piece of that ancient timeline that's still alive, like it's still there, even though it's living inside itself within other dimensions. So there's so much to it. Anyone who comes to the presentations or comes to this event, it's going to be a life-changing experience. It's just like going to see Chichen Itza pyramids in Mexico. It really changes you. It really does. And I'm going to be speaking about behind me. These are the Ponte, and they actually live in New Mexico, not too far from Chaco Canyon. They live underneath the Sandia Mountains in Albuquerque, New Mexico, in an information station, and they are presenting themselves to the world as we are going into how we were in the middle of official first contact. So they introduced themselves to Sue Walker, telepath for them, and I was introduced to them back in 2016, and they have been working with me and interacting with me ever since. They are here every week, several times a week, and they bump the back of my couch. All these walls behind me are covered in chalk drawings. They just like to have fun, and they are people just like us. And I'm going to be speaking and introducing them. That's what my presentation is going to be about. Is about who are they as people and why are they here. And you're going to learn a lot of fascinating facts. In fact, I'm going to be focusing on. I've been collecting snapshots from their Twitter account, and we turned those into over 200 memes. And they talk about their culture, they talk about the earth changes, they talk about a lot of stuff. So we'll be talking about learning more about them. And for example, one interesting thing is that their skipper ships are alive, and they have the consciousness of ancient seafaring fish from their own home planet. So it was a voluntary exchange of consciousness from these from these fish into the craft. And Dell, their mechanic, he considers himself more like running a corral of horses than it is, ships. Because they are alive. They have individual personalities. They actually eat organic things, and you'll learn things like this about. I'll be talking about some of these fascinating facts about them and their lives and what they like to do at home and what their hobbies are like and their music, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But I'm really glad to be coming back to Chaco because it was mind blowing. Such a great place.
That's going to be amazing return for you and the Ponte. I can just only imagine how they're their experience there will also help and assist and change people's lives. And if anyone's open to having contact with ETs, the telepathy primer, the 101 primer, is absolutely free, and you can get that online. What is that website, Kevin, that they can reach out? Do you remember?
It's officialfirstcontact.com is the website that you can get the telepathy primer and download it from there. Officialfirstcontact.com.
Yes, I
And
do know
another,
the Ponti have been around for millions of years and observers of us, and I can only imagine observers of those at Chaco Canyon. So
yes, their
I
records
love.
of their Earth presence they've been here for 135,000 years, but they had their official first contact almost 16, no, or 6 million years ago, I think it was. That's how long they've been traveling the galaxy. And a funny story, there was a time Melanie and I were out in New Mexico at the petroglyphs. We were checking out petroglyphs and we got caught in a storm. And the Ponti were actually babysitting us and keeping an eye on us because when we got back to Sue's place, they were asking, Kevin, were you paying attention to what Melanie was doing out there? So they were watching, they were keeping an eye on us and then babysitting us. So it was pretty cool.
Yes, I've channeled the Ponti and they're very friendly, and I've been communicating with them since 2019. And so they're friends and they like to pick on me when I get back to Albuquerque. So I'm really excited about that. So let's introduce our next speaker, Sean Bond. He is the founder of Psionic League and Silver Cord Spiritual Science, where he specializes in holistic healing, multidimensional awareness, and spiritual development. And as a spiritual healer, educator, and conduit, Sean helps individuals reconnect with their innate abilities and access the deeper technologies of consciousness that exist within themselves. And so, how are you doing today, Sean?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. Awesome that you're running this conference in such a good location with wonderful guests. A lot of them I've met and are good people, so you got a good taste. Yeah, I'll be doing a lot of stuff going into reading into, yeah, I do like psionics into reading knowingness and teaching people how to read into stuff and psychic track and look for place of power and go into it like a game and activating the chakras that come up from the center of the core of the earth and then go upward and expand out and as a relay point that can be accessed kind of like a computer system and then given what it needs is collective consciousness and expanded to grow and help the collective of humanity around in evolution and as well as in exchange and commerce and what it's wanting. Each place wants different things to support itself and then what it gives back. As well as alien artifacts. We're finding like this Gucci of the gods handbags and like things that Chaco Canyon goes into quite heavily, which is portal tech. So with the portals, my God, with what I've been tuning into with it, it's like one of the overloaded with portals kind of place of power. It reminds me of Ireland kind of with the stone circles. There's all these weird circle structures and building structures all around and spirals and petroglyphs that designate an entrance. Over 700 portals, and I'm a lot of what I'm gonna say is like 1% of what's there, so it's not even the entire picture. Most of it goes interdimensional, like places like the Massachusetts Triangle and places to do with Sasquatch and Yeti that would use in going in between spaces in a higher density, and that like higher density and dimensional consciousness of the earth used to more express itself into the observed sentience such as us, but we've been kind of collapsed down into an ego survival mechanism of veils coming up to separate us into survival as well as preventing of spreading some drama in between as organs will do in quarantining themselves and tumors and other things in nature to prevent a spread of something And as we resolve it, the veil, everything feels safer to connect and reach out, and more sentience we will be experiencing as the veils come down. And this is a great place to do that. Most of them go into these interdimensional, higher density being places. There's tons of spatial upgrades to get, divinity. There's these big pillars that have some awake, some dormant gods, over hundreds of them, or divinity management that are waiting to interact with people. A lot of the petroglyphs are looking for people as they have a sentience viewing who views them back, and the granting from the ancestors, the divinity there of to the people that are worthy to take up the roles of management from the ancestors, passing the torch to the new generations, sparking a lot of memories and their past experience integration, as well as a dream walker type ancestral awakening of interesting body tech to exist multidimensionally. This place goes what I like to designate in the arena of the school progression towards omnipresence, which like multidimensional living really, and turning on your bodies to like experience different places, such as being in more control and lucidity of your dreams and exploring with them, or astral travel, or going into the different interdimensions, elemental dimensions, fire, earth, air, water, ether, that all these bodies can activate. This place activates the crap out of them. And I've gone, and I'll be doing this in presentations where I'll talk about how you can go to certain places and portals and have a part of yourself initiate to bilocate through them and experience the other side while being trained by the different beings, or go through like a temporal dilation of somewhere taken for a while and put back, and it integrate, and you start remembering that, and it comes with all these powerful things imbued from the different realm. There's Star Family, from people that are gonna come to this conference. It's a very powerful event. My God, with the speakers here, oof, you're gonna get a lot. You're gonna you know, with you guys' talk, I know from Laura and Brad, you guys blow me away. So oof, I can't wait to hear everyone what they're gonna be going into. People are gonna get it remembering. They're gonna meet their soul family. They might fall in love. They'll get healing. Ancestors of different off-world ancestors and spirits will be traveling with people that come, that are initiated to go, and they'll be doing commerce. People will be getting visited, getting new dreams, visions turned on. A lot of telepathy will be passed back and forth. I'll be training that a little bit, and I know people out in this speakers are pretty good at this, so you'll get a lot of different angles. Taking down the veils of our perception of what separates us from seeing more is going to be coming forward. There's going to be, like Brad said, you're going to get amazing dream upgrades. You're going to be released from the matrix dreams that limit us and bring us into humdrum, monotonous nothing. DNA upgrades. There's like a school going deeper into different concepts, but most of this it is superpowers of what people can gain, both from the event, the speakers, what we're going to do in changing the timelines, because every time powerful people like us get together, and those in the audience thinking of coming, by you coming, you can change the timeline dramatically. And the place of power nearby grants superpowers, especially in spatial travel. So not really that many places do this. This is going to be a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of people. So I recommend coming. Otherwise, you'll hear about things and you'll be wondering what timeline could have been if I went, and how much I would have increased the speed of my growth in my timeline to where I can be many places at once, integrating many information and knowledge, and it download into my mind and integrate who I am, be traveling, fulfilling the missions that I'm here to do, and advancing my soul to where I earn way more to do, to experience, to have a wonderful life full of happiness and reunite with my soul family. So like I would be like really sad if I if I didn't end up going. So please do consider getting a ticket, everyone out there, because it's going to be amazing.
Beautifully said. And I think that definitely connects in with all of these aspects, you know, from ancient history, from those who actually lived there, from the extraterrestrial beings who, or Kachinas also, who would come in and assist these human beings there, and then us who are returning, which I always say we are our own ancestors. We have returned. We have left these markings in places for us strategically in alignment, not just with the portals and locations of the Earth, but within the grid of the cosmos and the galaxies to extend beyond that. And so it's perfect in alignment with what Laura is bringing with the astrology and the clearing transformation and how people want to redirect and push through that passion for their purpose. A lot of people might not know what their purpose is. And I think this is a beautiful place to just kind of surrender to themselves in this location. And so I think there's a lot that can be experienced here for anyone who wants to join us. And this is an event that'll be from the 21st to the 24th of September. And this is a public event. Veterans are free, so just register at no cost and book your stay through Tico Time. And as for me, I will be channeling the ant people. I have done channelings at Chaco Canyon before on solstice and equinox dates. So I do understand the powerful energy that can come through in that pivotal shift. So those shifts that can happen and take place within yourselves. I've connected with the crows there. They just want to tell us to pick up our trash. That's most important, because some people do leave behind some things. And even when you're camping, the wind can blow in and take it. Another thing, the Sasquatch, they have come through when I've channeled at Chaco Canyon. So this is a very active place. Just like someone mentioned before, this place is not asleep. This is very, very awake, very aware, interactive. There are spirit guides who are still watching the land, who are taking over the dignity and honor and respect to make sure that these lands are safe and the people that come in and visit. And so just honor and respect the land. Leave the pottery on the ground. You will see shards out there. But I'll be channeling the ant people, which is one of my favorites. I've channeled them before a few times. And there will be different beings who come in and out of my body. And so one will come in, share some messages, and then leave, and then another one will come in. But I think the most important thing to learn is that just to keep, they want us to keep singing and keep chanting and keep dancing. And so I am respectfully, actively looking for dancers, Native American dancers in the area that we can bring out to our space and our gathering as well. That is still pending, but I did want to at least share that so that we might have that opportunity to have an extended experience. And then with the Chinos, they'll be doing our opening tobacco Native American ceremony and galactic sound bath healing. And so they'll be also doing the smudges as well, so you can get clearings. And I think, Brad, for you, what you really like the Frahada Butte, but we are unable to go up and travel to that area. Are there any other locations at Chaco Canyon that you would recommend us to visit and seek out?
Yeah, I'll be leading the tour there again this year. And we'll stop at the signs where you can see the crevice up on Fajita Butte where the petroglyphs are that are basically a solar calendar that the shamans had climbed up there. And then on the solstices, you're able to see a dagger, a sun dagger, move over what could be the cosmology of Earth. So they were able to use it to determine the seasons of the year. So we'll take a look at that from the ground. You can't go up there even if you're a national park worker. And then we'll walk the Great House of Chaco Canyon. There's another one just another mile or two down the way that I think we should check out this year. That's equally important because it's in this valley of Chaco Canyon. And then the largest kiva in the Southwest is worth a look too, and we'll see the equinox sun alignments on many of these monuments. That's another thing that makes Chaco Canyon so special is that the ancients had a knowledge of the changing season, the different times of year, and actually incorporated that into the buildings of the Chaco Canyon architecture. So it's so many little details we'll point out, and it's really best to be there live to do the walkthrough and see all of this with these great people who are also going to be there.
Absolutely. It's going to be an exciting experience. And then, Laura, I know last year we didn't get to do your presentation inside the building, but we're definitely going to make sure that we have a talk for you this year inside the walls of Pueblo Benito. And so is there anything else that we should expect from your presentation?
Ah, gosh. I mean, I'd love to go into the laws of alchemy and how much is shifting. What does this ascension window really mean? I think sometimes we externalize everything, and it's really about the correction moving through us, not to us, not outside of us. It moves through us. We are correcting all the time when we are willing to go deep and recognize inversion and programmings or trauma loops, all these different things that try and hook us in, because literally the system is rigged to keep us from awakening. Everything about it, every pillar of society and what moves through it is to capture us in this web of inversion. And it's not necessarily fully negative. Very often it's amassed with what seems to be, positive, but everything is always being gauged by what's coming at us, what's in the news, and sort of basing our trajectory or our progress on what we're shown in this kind of overlay simulation. So when we're on the land, when we're connecting with the earth, to me, that's where the real reality exists. And in that remembrance, we begin to really dissolve the seals and fences that have placed limitation upon us. And the land doesn't hold that limitation. The creative imagination doesn't know that limitation. Our true divine blueprint and cosmic and natural law only know how to integrate fragmentation and bring about integration of polarity and restore everything. So I'll talk about the remedial flame and how DNA is being resequenced, how it's showing up in the zodiac, how it's showing up in the land, how it's showing up in our hearts and with each other. And yeah, tracing, the ancient into present time. And I love what you said, because we are the ancestors, we are returning. And yeah, so much is, happening. So I'll really get into the details and the nitty-gritty on all of that. And hopefully it'll really feel like an activating experience. But the land is really what's doing it, right? But kind of walking us through the process of, remembrance and embodiment. And so many are already bringing that here. But, there's always, something that might be lingering, some sort of echo or remnants of something that the matrix has cast upon us, or ancestral patterns, or just, yeah, whatever it's taken to be where we are today, and how much has tried to stop us. I think this is really about coming together to bring unconditional love to it, because that is the love of the mother. That is the love of this earth. It's to transparently, hold that with the heart of the mother, with the land, to complete the process of turning, the pain into purpose and wounds into wisdom, and just honoring, all that's taken place in and on this earth, and helping to release some of the traumas that still remain in the nervous system of the planet as well. So yeah, I'm just going to go into all of that, and usually a lot of inspiration happens right before an event, and then it's just like boom, 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 and then so the surprises are going to surprise me as well, and I'm sure that it's going to hit me a week or two before I'm with all of you. So I look forward to it. I look forward to hearing everybody. I'm always so amazed and blown away, and just at night how we just kind of process and integrate, and just laying close to the earth, and waking up with the sun is just the best. And to have this time during the equinox in such a profound location, I just feel like we're going to be just so tuned up and ready to bring that home with us, and how that will ripple out and shift the land beneath our feet and wherever we go next. And of course, not just beneath our feet, in the multidimensional and everywhere in between, because we're really moving out of the lowest spectrum of frequency on this earth as a collective, which is what archons and dark agendas feed on. And I feel like even a small group can affect the collective in really helping to eradicate that once and for all, so that the inspiration in the hearts of all of humans is to reach for the greatest aspects of why we came.
Absolutely. And you're right. We are moving and evolving as a collective consciousness. And so as we shift through this next portal, I think it's just going to be so transformational for those who are actively bringing their intentions and working on themselves through this. Sean, do you have any other things that you would like to share?
Sure, and I gotta go in a bit. So send me the links so that people can buy the ticket. I'll also upload this. Yeah, so just like Kevin went into, like, this is a powerful place, similar to the pyramids in Mexico. I'm in Mexico right now. I love going to pyramids. It's my favorite thing ever. I would go to them every other weekend, and just upgrades like crazy, and superpowers and different things. Chichen Itza was super good at healing the first time I went. I had this tremendous tooth pain from a very haunted visitor that went and lived at our house for a bit, and just like wake up in pain with like a demon trying to come at me. And I do exorcism, but that was annoying because they're open portal. And then I went to Mexico, and as soon as I got to the pyramid, I had like tooth pain throughout it. But like as soon as I got to Chichen Itza, all my tooth pain just went away, just disappeared, and I was like, crap. And that gave me such a big reverence for these places of power and what they can do, and miracle healing and whatever, and like changing your life. It's dramatic. Like if you get such a bad experience and then that goes away, then you know that there's something incredible about these places. And going to them is like my spiritual temple, my churches, and helping them get to their optimal state by asking what they want, and like supporting them and loving them and giving them reverence as much as I can. And a lot of times they just like help me because they're doing pretty good despite everything else, and I just got to train myself to get to their level a lot of the time. But yeah, so really big on coming to this place. I'm looking forward to it. Recommend everyone else to, if you guys like, anyone out there in the audience, if you guys like the concepts of spatial travel, teleportation, getting spirited away, visiting beings coming to you, your soul family, remembering who you are, remembering past the veils, this heaviness matrix on us, and it releasing more and more. This is a must come. So please do. And yeah, and then I'm in Mexico digging up alien artifacts of the ground. So we got like a lot of footage on the digs. So like bring that out for you guys and the craziness that is coming out. There are alien artifacts being found in Arizona, and New Mexico is right next to it, very close. So I'd imagine if people dug enough, they would be able to find that stuff there, especially with the amount of crazy beings and ant people and Sasquatches and interdimensionals, the ancestor races that seeded those layers of humanity with the Navajo tribe and beyond. And these just strange beings on pictographs that are really don't have much of a mythos besides what's passed down in our colloquial history. Different types of grays. Mostly, I've been reading its positive races in that place. It's very sacred, which is incredible how much work that took to drive out the negative forces. So please do come, guys. I'm Sean Bonham, Sonic League, sonicleague.com, but like get your tickets, reach out to Melanie. Yeah, I'll see you guys there. You might be able to you know, get some big contact things. We'll be bringing some little artifacts as well, and see what else we can do. We're about to do a dig tomorrow, so bring out some cool footage. So I'll see you guys later. Peace. Anything else you wanted to say on that? But end on your own time, whatever. And thank you guys for coming. Love you, Brad. Love you, Laura. I'm looking forward to meeting more you, Kevin, and knowing more about you. So this will be fun.
Yeah, you too, man.
Love you, Sean.
Thank you,
Love
Sean.
you.
Thanks, Sean. Looking forward to seeing you too. And with any luck, Kevin Estrella will bring his guitar and
Oh,
entertain us
I
by the
sure am.
campfire.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait to jam out with Laura again.
You're in for a
Yeah,
treat
how else
there.
we're gonna bring the ETs in?
Yeah.
Those parties.
Yes, campfire.
See you guys
If
later.
if there's not a fire ban, we can have a campfire and have some music fun. And I don't know if Laura will bring her handpan. Probably not on this event, but that would be really fun.
Figure out a way. Maybe I'll just mail it somewhere close by. I'm going to be out, living out of the same suitcase for a month up until Chaco, so it might be hard.
We'll see you guys later. I gotta head out,
Bye,
but
Sean.
yeah, have a
Thank
fun
you,
rest of the
Sean.
show. Love you.
All right, I'm going to say goodbye too. Thank you so much, Melanie. Thank you, guys. I can't wait to see you, Brad and Kevin and Melanie.
You too.
Much love.
It'd be awesome.
Love you. See you later.
Much love.
Kevin, do you want to add anything else about your presentation or what people should expect?
Well, the biggest thing I want to say is that anybody who comes to this is going to have the opportunity, not only, to hear our presentations, but the opportunity to talk to any one of us, because we all have unique special skills and abilities, and we'll be there as teachers to help guide and teach people. Melanie, she's a channeler. I astral travel. I've been developing my telepathy with the Ponte. I'll be able to talk about that and how you can develop your telepathy and how you can have extraterrestrial contact as well. So you take advantage of all of us who are there, because we're going to be off site, and we'll be all hanging out together. And it's going to be really a great educational experience, and to bring something to record with when you talk to us. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
So I look forward to that. And it's going to be a great experience. Thank you, Brad, for joining us as well. I look forward to your teachings and more tours and excursions. And so I'm also looking forward to visiting the Aztec National Monument as well. It'll be my first time there, so it'll be such a delight. But I just want to thank everyone who joined us today. Brad, Sean, Laura, Kevin, Yssah, and the Chinos. Will be speaking with them next time. But I just want to say that I will be adding the registration link to the description. Anyone can join us, and please, the website is QuantumDisclosureProject.com, or you can email me at QuantumDisclosureProject@gmail.com, or just send a direct message if you're connected through social media. That is fine. And I will also add others' websites in the description as well. So if you would like to check out any speakers and their descriptions and what to expect with the workshops they'll be bringing, I will add that as well. So thank you, everybody, and I hope to see everyone at the second annual Chaco Canyon Sacred Site Tour in Aztec, New Mexico from September 21st to the 24th of 2026.